Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for waiting to the end of the sessions. My name is Mike Kohner. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Blockticity. Also a chair, vice chair, and co-chair of two committees in an international organization of standards called ASTM. And today we're going to talk about bridging international standards to support blockchain innovation. And so the problem that we're trying to solve, the origin of our company, back in COVID days, I tried to sell PPE, gloves and masks, to the United States government. And, right, I believe you. A lot of us did. And I worked with a couple of friends of mine that are retired government agents. And so we looked at 53 different batches and lots. And because of their intelligence community, they could look at the data room on every single deal, and they found fraudulent documents. So had we participated in those deals, we would have committed a felony against the United States government. So we didn't do any deals. But essentially, we looked at fake SGS reports, fake 3M manifest, illegal cage codes, that these guys had the ability to fact check every document in these goods that were moving through supply chain. So that's how we started our company. And doing research, $28.5 trillion of supply chain real world assets, RWAs, 4.7 trillion, which is around 20%, have unverifiable documents. So if you are a good standing citizen in a supply chain with illegal documents, you could have some liability. So the problem that we're solving is creating a digital twin for a critical document in the supply chain. So an analogy would be, you have an enterprise company, customer, and they have a bunch of intellectual property, which is about their products, about their customers, about their company. And that usually sits in a Web 2 environment, behind a firewall, in a CRM. There are elements of their intellectual property that they must share with the physical goods going through supply chain to get to the final destination. And that is where what I call the pirates go in and modify those documents and intellectual property without their approval. So to get this into the market, we needed to reverse engineer this, because blockchain is new and intimidating for government authorities around the world. So I joined an organization called ASTM, American Society for Testings and Materials, which has been around for 126 years. And they write and publish international standards. And over 8,000 times, 180 countries have accepted those standards as a way to operate legally and compliantly in those markets. This is pretty exciting. I'm very excited about this. We actually published and co-authored the first blockchain standard that ASTM has ever written. It came out in July, how to verify a COA on-chain using blockchain. And one of Avalanche's engineers joined the committee that I'm on and helped write the language into the standard around a layer 1. So this is really cutting edge, early, putting the flag in the moon with Avalanche in this opportunity. And now we're writing standards for other clients with the authority having jurisdiction. I'll talk about some of those coming up. So we partnered with Avalanche. We've worked with 4 or 5 chains, but we're now an Avalanche portfolio company. We really liked what they offered us from a layer 1 perspective. So we needed speed, security, and scalability. So speed, these are not retail transactions, so we didn't need that kind of speed, but we needed scalability we just signed a purchase order last month for 50 million serialized solar panels for a manufacturer in the United States building a huge facility in Mexico. And we wouldn't feel comfortable doing that cobbling together, but on our layer 1, we have the confidence that now we can actually fulfill that purchase order. It's a 4 or 5 year contract, but with the L1, the price is right, the security is right, because now we can have permissions, which gives us the ability to work with medical patient data, HIPAA, be HIPAA compliant, and or government data. So We have a video. Can you play the video? Or no? If you can't have the video, I can talk through it. Oh, hit the button? Sorry. Okay.
In a world of rampant counterfeiting, Blockticity's four-stage solution ensures unbreakable authenticity. We don't just comply with the standards, we help write them. Blockticity co-authored the first global standard for using blockchain as part of a supply chain. Our process begins with the secure ingestion of client data, followed by advanced API-driven data transformation. Next, each record is minted as a secure NFT on the blockchain, with a unique QR code for easy verification, enabling instant, foolproof verification for anyone, anywhere. The alpha version of our product is now live and has already secured nearly 40,000 certificates of authenticity. Join us in making forgery obsolete. Blockticity, pioneering authenticity, transforming trust.
I voted to use Randy Macho Man Savage for that voiceover, and I got outvoted. So this is where we are today in the market. So as a company, we are servicing customers in all of the blue states, countries in the world right now. So we have authenticated $275 million of real-world assets. We have a pipeline of over $1 billion in assets over the next 4 years. Agriculture, anybody in the room like coffee? I like coffee. So we are Trace, and we're doing our first pilot program with the Coffee Federation of Colombia. The first pilot is for 70 kilo bag green coffee, which will be roasted in the countries that it's going to end up in, because the European Union has new requirements this year that you must show the geospatial data of the origin of the farm to prove deforestation did not occur in the farmland. The second pilot we're working on them is going to be their Juan Valdez line, which is very easy. It's just 12-ounce bags of roasted coffee put on pallets, sold to big box stores in all of Europe. What else? Let me see, one more thing. We have, let's see, another good one, interesting, organic sugar. We have an organic sugar farmer in Philippines. Their geospatial coordinates prove both deforestation and that they are over 40 kilometers from a non-organic farm, so they can prove that there's no chance for cross-contamination. So we work in agriculture. We work in solar panels. We work in critical minerals, because the solar panel company still has liability if they used quartz or polysilicon from a mine somewhere in the world that had slave labor. So we authenticate the upcycled data to prove that those documents were not modified in any way, and if they can prove commingling has not occurred with slave labor mined polysilicon, they can now get it into the United States and avoid very expensive tariffs. So today we're here. We really appreciate Avalanche for believing in us, and we're glad to be here. We're looking for alliances. So I heard two people speak before me about really interesting industries in real estate and in energy. Those are standards that we could help at ASTM develop and then roll out and evangelize those opportunities into the Web 2 environment, and teaching people that it's okay, blockchain can be scary, but as an immutable, tamper-evident digital twin, it's a fantastic product for a specific good moving through the supply chain. My information is right there if you have any questions, and we're looking to make alliances, so thank you so much for your time. Any questions? Anybody have any supply chain questions? Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Does the blockchain's main value proposition for supply chain tracking come from international trades? Or is that relevant for tracking system inside a country?
Oh, got it. Good question. So a great use case for in-country are consumer goods. So we have a client that is a clothing line. They make their clothes in Bangladesh and China. They bring those goods into the United States and they drop a collection based on the season, usually at a trade show. They do 30 million a year or 300 million a year in sales, and 10% of that is knocked off. And it gets knocked off by the same facilities that are making their products in Bangladesh and China, and they sell them online through active accounts on Amazon. And so the steps to take the illegal products down from Amazon require 3 legal letters to the fake account to demand they take them down, and then show the track record for Amazon to threaten that account. So consumer goods are a great idea. We have another client. I've spent a bunch of time in Colombia the past few months. And one of our other clients that we're working on now is a ornamental flower company. So they predominantly sell all 10 different farmers, one distributor. They sell everything to Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods. And Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods only care that there were no child labor in the picking of those flowers. So they have to abide by third-party trade associations in Colombia to do spot check inspections to ensure that there are no children. And then those certifications are going to be added as QR codes to those flowers that are going into the United States. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, and then even though it is, let's say, subject to verification through delegated authorities in a given region, the fact that it is embedded in blockchain means, okay, Walmart is accessing it, but if anyone else wants to access it, then the cost of accessing that is much lower. Is that so?
Yes, as long as it's not government or medical related data, it can be published on a public chain. If it's medical data or if it's intellectual property, like a t-shirt company that has a specific organic farm somewhere in the world and they don't want their competitors to see the farm, they can issue permission so they can certify on chain without giving away the geo coordinates of the farm, because that's private contract to them and they don't want to be circumvented. That's an example of doing it on a chain. So it is very cost effective, especially on a layer 1. It is very scalable, but it is scary. So I spend 99% of my conversations. We pitched this model over 600 times in our CRM since 2021. We have to talk to a Web 2 enterprise audience in a tone and a vocabulary that does not scare them. So we really talk about blockchain up front. Then we provide a free pilot program and take them through the process and show them, here's your CRM IP data. Here are the pieces of data that is your IP, but you have to share in the supply chain attached to any tracking device that you choose to the physical goods. And then the authentication, the verification of that data would be the authority having jurisdiction, which could either be the region you're going to, the Border Patrol, or the consumers that don't want to buy knockoff products.
Thank you.
Great question. Anybody else? Indiana Jones.
So for those Web 2 companies, are you guys planning to put some credit card system where you take care of their payments on the back office, but they pay in credit card?
So, another good question. Enterprise clients get very nervous when we say things like, we're going to take your SAP database and put it on chain. We're going to take all your payment system, put them on chain. So we have to be the tip of the spear and just focus on something that they can quantify the pain of the fake documents and supply chain and say, we can provide a solution cheaper than whatever it costs you to deal with this, which is sometimes 5% of their gross revenue with fake products in the market. So we're launching, we have our L1, I'm hoping comes out in January on Avalanche. And then by March, we're trying to do a dual token system where one is going to be backed by USD. So we will receive USD wire ACH transfer payment from our Web 2 client, but we will take the cost of the COGS to mint on chain and convert that to a USD backed token, and then when we mint that certificate on chain, that will be minted by one of our tokens as well. So we'll be getting double activity on the chain. That's a great question.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We have a 5-minute break in case.